Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Colin Zhu. We are at the Vegan Women's Summit. I am joined by Chef Dora Stone. Super exciting. And please tell us, share with the audience again who you are, what you represent, who you represent, and what is the whole why?
My name is Dora Stone, and I'm the chef behind the blog account website dorastable.com, which is a vegan Mexican recipe site. And I create vegan Mexican recipes that are easy, that are delicious, but most of all, that represent and honor traditional Mexican cooking methods and ingredients.
And were you classically trained?
Yes, I'm a graduate from the Culinary Institute of America in New York.
Do they incorporate any type of vegan cooking?
At the time I was in school, they didn't, but I'm not sure about now. Yeah.
And why the shift for you? Why was it important to make this transition coming from classically trained to where you are now?
I became vegan for health reasons. I was having a health problem, and doctors just couldn't, or, they didn't get to the root of the problem. I was just kept getting medications and medications, just became like a cycle of pain, really, because, I couldn't get relief from my pain. And I had a friend, which is so funny. I had a friend at the time I was living in California, and she was like, "You need to watch Forks Over Knives." And I'm like, "I do not want to watch it because I loved meat and I loved cheese and I loved, and I knew how to, butcher, you know, a pig, it's all this stuff, all this knowledge." So I was like, I don't want to watch it because if I get, convinced to do this, it was a very large change, very, implication for my own career.
Sounds like you were already open because you're like already halfway there. You're like, if I watch this, I know I'm going to be convinced. So you're already halfway there.
So she hounded me. Every time I saw her, she was like, "Did you watch it?" I was like, "No." "Did you watch it?" "No." So finally I ended up watching it because she would not leave me alone. She would not leave me alone. So I did watch it, and then I did end up going vegan. And it did really help manage my health issues, and it really did change my life. And I'm still vegan. I've been vegan for 8 years now.
Nice. And what about your friend? Is she, still vegan as well? No. She went back?
Yeah, she went back.
You went back? And then did you like hound her for like other documentaries?
I moved, so I haven't seen her again since I moved. But every time I tell this story, it's like, she was really the main reason why I ended up going vegan.
And what is the why behind Dora's Table? You mentioned vegan Mexican cooking. What is it about for those that haven't tried traditional Mexican cooking? What does traditional Mexican cooking entail, and why this? What kind of switches have you made to quote unquote veganize it?
So I started doing vegan Mexican because my mom was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and I was trying to get her to eat healthier because I was vegan. I was like, everybody should be vegan. and But my mom wasn't having it, and I at the time loved Vietnamese spring rolls, so I'm like, I have to make her Vietnamese spring rolls. Of course I did make her Vietnamese spring rolls, and it was like the first time she had tofu. She was really thrown off by the texture of the rice paper, and she's just like, "What is this? Never give me tofu ever again."
It's like, Mom, it's just the rice paper.
Yeah. And until finally she like got fed up with me trying to feed her things, and she's like, "Why don't you just make it Mexican?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah." That's so smart. Why don't I? But Mexican cuisine, the base of the cuisine is corn, it's beans, it's tomatoes, it's chiles. So to veganize it, there's after colonization, there's a lot more meat-heavy dishes, a lot more dairy, because the Spanish brought all that in. But before the Spanish came, there was no pork, there was no dairy. The indigenous people of Mexico were foragers, so they did eat meat. They did eat all kinds of animals, insects, stuff like that. But their cuisine was based on corn. So like their daily meals were vegan. And whenever they caught an animal, then they would eat it, or in special occasions. So really, to veganize more modern Mexican dishes, you do have to. My favorite meat substitute is mushrooms. So a lot of my meat substitutes are mushrooms. I do enjoy soy curls, and for the dairy, I do something that in Mexican cuisine is called a nogada, which is a nut cream sauce. Which, we, like vegans like me are like, yeah, we're like innovating, and we're like, No. No, there's records of a nogada sauce from like the 17th, 18th century, and it's a cream sauce made with walnuts, which you will see today when I do my vegan.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Okay, it's a secret, so don't tell anybody. Today I'm making a chile en nogada, and it's a dish from the 17th century that legend has it was invented in a convent to celebrate the independence of Mexico. And it's a roasted pollo and pepper stuffed with a picadillo made with, today I'm using Tyndall chicken and impossible meat. But it's a picadillo that's like savory and sweet. It has olives, it has capers, but it also has pear and apple and nuts and raisins. That goes inside of the chile, and then it's bathed with a walnut cream sauce, and then it's going to be topped with pomegranates.
Why are we still talking?
Yeah, and the really cool part of it is that it has the colors of the Mexican flag. Yes. So it's like the white cream sauce, the pomegranate, and then it has the green of the chile, and it'll have parsley. So it's like green, red, and white.
What do you hope to achieve, within the realm of Mexican cooking? Is the point for you to veganize as much, sway people to transition, or provide another option, for Hispanic cuisine, Latin America, Central America cuisine, and be able to provide that option where we can do better for our health because it came from a health reason. We can do it better for the environment. Which is it for you?
It started with, like, I did this, like I said, for health reasons. And especially in my community, there's a lot of type 2 diabetes. There's a lot of obesity. There's a really high rate of heart disease. And there's a lot of people, and I know a lot of people send me messages and emails saying, hey, like, my mom can't eat meat anymore. Like, I found your site and, like, you saved us because now we can still eat our cultural foods without affecting our health. And that for me is amazing because nobody wants to give up their cultural food. It's part of our identity. So to be able to provide that for me is really my mission. No matter what your reason for being vegan is, if it's for the animals, if it's for the environment, this provides you with a chance to still enjoy and still honor and preserve your traditions while being vegan, while being compassionate.
Awesome. For those that want to learn more about you, where can they go?
You can find me as @Dora's Table across all my socials, and my website is dorastable.com. I also have a site in Spanish that is called Mi Mero Mole, and it's all my recipes, but in Spanish.
And is there something coming in the horizon anytime soon that, that fans can expect?
Yes, I'm writing my first cookbook, and I'm super, super excited about it. I don't have a release date yet, but as soon as I do, you guys will know about it. Right now, I'm like deep in the writing.
Deep in the trenches. We were talking offline. She was like, ugh.
Yes, I have 3 kids, so it's been challenging to coordinate, school activities and homework, and then like cookbook writing.
Well, Dora, thank you so much. I wish you massive success on top of all the success you've had so far. And thank you for being an inspiration to the community.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.